Hello. Oh my god, that's so loud. I'm sorry. Hang on. Hello, how's everyone doing? So yeah, it was a long weekend. I didn't stream at all, but that's okay. So, what did I do? I didn't really do much of anything. We had snowstorms, so I was kind of just like stuck inside. I did go to my job, and it was kind of horrible driving. Yeah, it was really not fun. Very scary. I was like sliding all over the place on the road, and then when I like got off work, somebody buried my car like within a snowdrift, and now like I can't find the inner fob of my keys. So I was like freaking out this morning because I like couldn't start my car, and I think this is like an anti-theft thing where they'll like your car won't start if it can't like sense the key fob like nearby. And I was like freaking out. I was like, oh god, did the accursed Accord die? Because if you've all been following my channel for a while, you would know that I've had car troubles pretty much forever, for a very long time. So it's like every time, like every once in a while, I'll just have like this horrible expensive like repair. Like over the summer, I had to like replace the entire exhaust system and the back brakes because my brakes like gave out during like a massive thunderstorm, and it was just not fun. Yeah, but hopefully I can get a new car soon. And before any of you ask, these wings, like, yeah, they work, but like, do you really think like it'd be smart flying in the middle of a snowstorm? Because these wings right here, they're very thin and sensitive, and they're kind of like leathery, and like being out in the cold would kind of dry them out. Like they're good for flying, but like I just didn't want to in the middle of a snowstorm. And like I think it would kind of freak people out to just see like this thing flying in the sky. It's happened before where they've seen me in the sky and they're like, oh my god, what is that thing? It's so scary. And I'm like, I don't really want to scare people. Like at least not that way. But so yeah, I did go to my job for a bit, and it was just like, it was slow because, you know, I was in the middle of a blizzard, and I was just like working all day and just like trying to get things done and just trying to stay productive, because I feel like I'm like not doing anything if I'm not being productive. I'm like somebody who's just so restless when it comes to just like wanting to do a job and wanting to just appear like I'm being somewhat useful, because I feel like if I'm not, I'm like kind of in the way and kind of like annoying everybody, and I just don't want to be that person. But I am mopey topey. I am very warmed up right now. I took a hot bath and got cleaned up, and hello, you know, cozy. But yeah, so my weekend was full of cold ice, and also like I was so like mad because my car was buried in that snowdrift from the plow, and like so I like took out my shovel and was like just throwing the snow around in anger. And I was like, because I was tired and I didn't want to deal with like shoveling my car out when it was still like kind of blizzarding out and very, very cold. And on top of that, I had bought myself like a pint of gelato just to kind of like pig out on after work. And the lid like froze like to the inside of it. Hello, Zach. And so I like couldn't open the gelato. So I was like so angry. I was like running it under hot water, and I was like, I was looking forward to eating this, but I couldn't even get the damn thing open. And like, have any of you seen those gelato pints? They're like Talenti pints. Talenti is the brand name, but those are like my weakness. And so I bought myself a pint to eat after work, and I was just like, I was so mad because I couldn't even get the thing open, and I just like gave up and went to bed. Because I was just like, well, night's ruined, good night. But I got it open this morning. I ate some of it today after when I got home, and it was delicious. But I just like never had that happen with that brand. Like, I don't know why it was so difficult to open. Like 3 people tried, and like I was just like, what is happening? But yeah, it's all good now. I was able to access the deliciousness eventually. And yeah, so I was just snowed in for the most of the weekend. I think we got about 1.5 feet. Because now listen, I'm not very tall, so I like went out yesterday to like clear my car off, and the snow was like all over my knees, and I was like, oh, guess I'm going swimming now. But yeah, that was very funny. And I just like rested too. I did practice some music on Saturday. Aw, thank you. Hello, Lordzilla. How are you? It's going very well. Just chilling, just catching up with everybody, telling them about my weekend and how the heavens opened up and dumped a bunch of snow on me. I'm like worried because I have like solar panels and the snow's like covering it. So eventually, like probably in the middle of the night, I'm just gonna hear it like slide off, and it's gonna scare the shit out of me. I'm gonna hear like just like things moving up on my roof, and I'm like, what's on my roof? Like, Christmas was last month. Like, what's happening? Because it does make some really creepy noise. The noise panels do make some really creepy noises sometimes. What else did I? Yeah, I did practice some singing. I'm just like trying to keep my vocal cords in good shape. Oh my god. Lordzilla. Like, if I thought about all the dumb things I did, I like wouldn't be able to do anything because I would just die of embarrassment. Like, you know, it's... Listen, I went out with Krampus once, and... I mean, come on, call me back, man. Like, I thought we had a good connection. No, it's not Krampus. It's so hard. Snowed a little last week, yeah. I too feel like last week was in years. Oh wait, yeah, last week was exactly one. Was New Year's, right? Utah, yeah. Isn't that Mormon land? Ate a Christmas tree. Yeah. Be careful. I don't think all that pine is good for you. Yeah. Interesting. I know Utah has some like weird liquor laws because isn't it a dry state? I think it's a dry state. Yay! Have fun! Have fun in the snow. Honestly though, I feel like once the snow like piles up enough, I think it might be time to get some snowshoes. Just like make it easier on me. Cause I'm just like tiny and it's so... Oh yeah, that's what we just had. That's what we just had. It was a snowstorm. Because it was like that wet snow that's really heavy and like hard to shovel too that we had. And like it was just kind of hard to like wade through it. And like my legs are getting cold. So I'm thinking like next time that happens, maybe I should just get some snowshoes. Oh man. But yeah, it feels good to be streaming again. Yeah, I think it's kind of like going west across the United States because I'm on the East Coast. And I think one of my friends said it was heading in their direction too. I forget where she lives, but like... I should be the one carrying people. Come on. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And like this summer was just so rainy. It's just been like crazy weather. Yeah. Like, I think that was part of the reason why, like, I was so depressed over the summer was we just didn't have a whole lot of rain and it was just so rainy and like gloomy. Yeah. Climate change is real. Like, it used to never be like this. It's like scary. I'm like worried that the coasts are going to be in danger. Because I'm an East Coast gal. Like, lived there my whole life. And it's like, you know, a lot of the big cities on the East Coast are along the water. Like Boston is, New York. I believe Miami is. I don't know. I'm bad with geography, but yeah, the only one that's... But it's just like scary to think about, you know? Yeah, definitely. That's what kind of makes me hopeful about a lot of young people these days is they are like the ones that are like getting into college, because I do know a few, like just from, you know, around, and so just like talking to them, but a lot of them are into like sustainability and environmental science, and they do really care, like the people who are like way younger than me. So that does make me kind of hopeful, is that, you know, change will happen, and that I do believe that we can reverse it in some ways and just like bring back some of it. It's just going to take a very long time and some like real strict self-control on our part. But I mean, it's gotten better in some ways. In some ways, I noticed a lot of the towns around in my area have gotten rid of plastic bags. It's either bring your own bag or use paper, and I think that's good because plastic, you know, it doesn't go away and it can harm the wildlife. And next Mr. Beast, yeah, I just cleaned the air pollution. I just fixed the hole in the ozone layer. Oh man. I have mixed feelings about Mr. Beast. I just like feel like at some level it's kind of exploiting the algorithm, just like using the clickbaity stuff. But I mean, he has done good things. Exactly. Exactly. Like, we have to be willing to surrender some of our comfort to make some meaningful changes. And like, there are ways people can do that, just like individually. Like, I don't know, like, take public transportation more if it's like in your area. Yeah. I just feel like, you know, it's not really his fault that the way content is made has changed because of people like him. But it's almost like YouTube wants like a very specific type of content creator. You gotta get your fiber somehow, Lordzilla, huh? Oh yeah, and like, you can stop using straws, like, if you're able to. Like, that's one way you can change. You can use reusable straws or just like skip them altogether. Like, I have reusable straws that I use. Also, well, I gotta use a straw because your girl's got very sensitive teeth, and like drinking any sort of hot or cold, like liquid, like hurts. Speaking of Zilla's just gonna consume everything. And like, the more Zilla consumes, the bigger he gets. So eventually the entire universe is just gonna be in Lord Zilla's stomach because he just ate us all. Who can eat more? Lord Zilla? Or Kirby? Or Gluttony from Fullmetal Alchemist? Like, who has the most like terrifying like stomach hammers, like pocket dimension? Yes. Yes. We won't eat this one yet. Yeah, let us have a few thousand more years, you know? I haven't even made it to 1,000 yet. Like, there's some demons out there who are like older than the calendar itself. Like, very, very old demons. And I'm like a baby compared to those. Like, there are demons who saw Babylon out there, and I'm just like, I'm like compared to them, like, still goo goo gaga baby. Like, But, you know, I'm what they call a new world demon. Like, certainly there were like creatures. Yeah, baby way, very baby. Yeah. But like there were certainly like creatures that were kind of like me before. It's just like I was born. Yeah, that is a baby. I'm only 288, so like I was born in a colony, so I'm older than America itself, but like not thousands of years old. But I mean, there were certainly creatures in the US that were around for very long time before I was around. And like they're out there. I mean, you hear about them in a lot of Native American folklore legends. Yeah, and they're just kind of out there, like doing their own thing, and most of them are kind of chill. There's some scary ones I prefer not to associate with. Yeah, we've been alive for a very, very long time. Specifically the ones that are still like kind of in the underworld still. But I can tell you family reunions are crazy down there. Like my dad's side of the family, just oof. But I prefer not to spend too much time down there because it's just like too, you know, fire and brimstone-y, and like the screams of the damned can get to be a bit much for me. So I just prefer not to be in hell too much. But I'm happy here on Earth. I'm happy up here. I mean, it's nice. Nice. Which mountain? But Earth is very nice compared to the underworld. Like you all at least have a sun and like planets, and like you can look up at the stars, and like you have seasons. Like it's very comfortable up here. It's not perfect, don't get me wrong, but I mean, I feel very content. I definitely do want to like get out more. Once I have like the time to travel, I do want to see other places because there's just a lot I haven't been to. I've only traveled within the continental United States. Is there social media down there? Yeah, there is. Oh, so probably Mount St. Helens in Washington, because that has a crater in it. There is social media down there. There are a few people who stream from down there. A few very famous VTubers. But I personally don't know them, but yeah. Yeah, they do. Trust me, they do. Speaking of pee-pee, so I saw the news that Pomerine Puff is graduating. She's a talent from Niji Sanji, and she was like from the very first wave. And I did listen to what she had to say, and I'm really proud of her. I'm proud that she is going to school and, you know, trying to do something better, good for herself. And I think, like, no matter, regardless of where she goes, she's going to succeed. But I wish her all the best of luck. And remember, like, I'm Pomu, you're Pomu. Yeah, I think it's because VTubing as a whole is changing a lot. Good evening, Hinochi. Good evening. Yeah, who was it? Who was it? But, I mean, I don't have any plans on graduating anytime soon. Kura, yay. Aw. Well, wish them the best of luck. But, I mean, I don't have any plans on graduating anytime soon. I mean, yeah, retirement, yeah. Because graduation means, like, possibly just doing something else. Retirement is just like, I'm done. I'm done, like, streaming. I mean, graduation is, like, held over from, like, the idol industry, which, like, you know, like, the Japanese idol and the Korean idols, like, that they have what they call graduations when an idol leaves an agency. These are modeled after that, so that's why there is a graduation thing. But it's sad because, you know, that model is going to be gone, but, like, yeah, because if you're a corpo VTuber, that is your full-time job. And unfortunately, with companies like Hololive and Niji Sanji, you don't... Oh, Pomu Rainpuff is graduating. She's from Niji Sanji. Like, she was in the first wave of VTubers in the English branch. But, no, it's sad because, like, that model is gonna be gone. Oh yeah, there was another graduation. I never heard of that VTuber. I'd have to look them up. But it's just like, you know, the corporations like Hololive and Niji Sanji, they own the characters and the models. So, like, when the liver leaves, the talent leaves, they can't take the model with them where they go. So that means, like, that character's done. That character's retiring. Like, they're not streaming anymore. But they're having cases where somebody leaves a corporation to go to another one, and they just come up with a new character and a new model, but it's like the same person behind it. And also, a lot of the big corpo VTubers were, like, creators before. Like, there's a lot of, like, there's a lot of things that go on behind, like, that go when one becomes corporation, like a corporation VTuber. Oh yeah, Matara Khan. Yeah, I knew her in her past life. Yeah. Like, I knew her in a past life. I didn't personally know her, but I did. Like, I met her as in another body, I guess. You can always... I mean, if there have always been people who, and a lot of indie VTubers will do this, where they will retire one persona and move on and like re-debut as another. Oh yeah, Henya also, yeah, Henya had a past life. But it's like, how do I put it? I mean, let's just say, for example, like I've been through models before. I've been through other people's models. Yeah. Well, I think, well, Henya was from not from, yeah, because, yeah, I'm not gonna like say, I mean, the two talents don't like hide who they were in a past life, but I'm not sure if it's like okay to talk about it. But I mean, it's not hard to figure it out. It's not hard to figure it out. But it's just like, you know, a lot of these people who you watch, it's just like, yeah, you feel sad that they're leaving, but at the same time, it's like, oh, well, just like treasure the time you have with people, because I mean, it sucks to say, but like a lot of these VTubers aren't going to be like the same people forever. And it's a demanding job, like streaming. Like I just do it as a hobby, and even I find it to be a bit much sometimes. Yeah. But like so far, the big graduations that I've seen, it's more like they were just moving on to something else because where they were wasn't what, like they couldn't reach their goals to get to where they wanted to be. Like I think also, like that was what happened with Matara. She just wanted to do something different, and she wanted something that like worked for her style like better, and I think that's fine. You know, like Bishoujo is managed very differently. Yeah, and Kudo was from a different company too. Like Kudo and Matara were, well, I mean, they are friends, but they were in the same company too. It's like I know their reasons for leaving their old company, and Kudo, yeah, he's the only guy in Bishoujo. Kudo nai. But yeah. Yeah, cause you know, he's not a, yeah, I guess he yeah, canine. But yeah, like they were successful corpo VTubers before, but they moved companies, and I understand the reasons why they moved, because they just wanted something else. And you know, Bishoujo is managed very differently than Hololive and Niji Sanji, so it's almost like maybe that just suited them more. And I'm not somebody who feeds into the like, oh, Hololive like corpo like rivalries and whatever they're not. I'm just like, okay, they're just like you know, different styles of creating content, and like, you know, everybody's allowed to like whatever as long as they're respectful, like, and cool to each other. Like, I like both Hololive and Niji-Sanji streamers. Like, I think that's fair. Like, Hololive is definitely like more idol focused and more modeled after the idol industry. And I watch some Hololive girls. I watch some of the Hollow Stars. Like, I do think they're all very talented. And Niji-Sanji is more like, okay, let's take in some promising talent and like kind of give them a platform to like communicate with other streamers. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Shoujo mainly streams on Twitch, but sometimes they stream on YouTube, and the VODs are uploaded onto YouTube. But it's just, you know, it's apples and oranges, you know? At the end of the day, it's okay. They're all... Like, you don't get into a corpo like that just being mediocre. You have to stand out and, like, prove that you have what it takes to get there. And even Niji-Sanji is, like, changing the way things are run. Like, the first 20 livers, they were more idol focused, like, focused on, like, making music and, like, doing more what Hololive does. But now they're kind of more, like, more casual with what they do with their projects. It's more, like, personality based than, like, this whole idol image. But, you know, it is interesting to look into, and it's something that I do kind of, like, you know, kind of keep tabs on as a... I don't call them the Golden 20, I just say the first 5 waves. Because I feel like calling them the Golden 20 is, like, very... It's kind of, like, ignoring the waves that came after. Like... It started with Lazulite and it became Noctix. I want to acknowledge talent in the other waves. Like Illuna, Xolel, and Crisis, and Triple T. I, like, want to acknowledge them, too. Yeah. I mean... My Oshi is neurodivergent. He's, like, very open about being neurodivergent. Yeah, I'm neurodivergent too. Yeah. And, like, even the talent themselves, like, don't want people calling them the Golden 20. I think a lot of VTubers are neurodivergent, honestly. But I've talked about it before, but I do have ADHD, and I am medicated, and I do, like, get therapy for it. But I think it's very common, because I do think people with ADHD, they're kind of drawn to things like this, because it is very stimulating, and just, like, chatting with you all, and, you know, playing games online, and, like, having people interact with us, it's very stimulating. Yeah. Also, I think there's the creative, like, aspect to being a streamer, a V-streamer. You know, I like the term. I know VTubing is, like, the proper term, but V-streaming just, like, kind of seems like more accurate to the term, or, like, you know, just a virtual content creator. Like, I think, because, I mean, not all VTubers stream. Some of them, like, just do music. Like, basically, I think the way VTubing is going... Yeah. Yeah. That's okay. There's just like air that blows in my head too. It's all good. But I honestly think VTubing is now like less of a way of like acting and more of like you're competing with other content creators, like people who like do face cam streaming. I honestly think it should be treated that way. Like, yeah, you can create the whole idol image, but I think if you just want to like turn on a camera and like just talk to a camera and just chill and play games, like I think that's fine too. Like, just do whatever is comfortable. And the only thing I will say is maybe see if you even like creating content before you put a lot of money into it. Like, I talked about this on my Q&A stream, which is like, make sure you like doing this stuff before you really invest in it, because like it can get really expensive. And like, you don't, honestly, like when I do these just chatting streams, I'm just using my laptop because it has a webcam attached to it and an external mic. Like, I'm not really doing much other than just like running Streamlabs. But like the gaming streams, I have to like have this whole setup, and like I want to do music streams too, and I want to get some like soundproofing equipment for that too. But it's just like, yeah, just be sure this is something you want to do before you invest thousands of dollars into it. And just like this, you know, if you're independent like I am, you're spending the money on it, your own money on everything. So like, there will be times where, you know, in order to like maintain a channel and just like have new content to make, it's almost like you gotta like have a full-time job, like touching grass and like doing normie things, unless you can like work from home. Because like, the honest to goodness, like, it's like the less time you have for VTubing, the more time you have, the more money and resources that you can get to making quality content. And like, I feel like there shouldn't be like this whole idea. That's okay if you prefer indies to corpos. Like, indies have less restrictions. Like, honestly, the only guidelines I need to like adhere to are the platform guidelines. Like as long as I follow the rules on YouTube and like Twitch and wherever I'm streaming from, I'm pretty much okay. And like, you know, like I mean, I'm US based, and so I don't need to ask permission to like play every game. Yeah, they're cozier. Unless it's like hard to get big as an indie VTuber. I mean, certainly some do make it big, but it's like you have to kind of stand out. You have to kind of stand out and like be as on your own as an indie VTuber, and it's hard, you know. Like, I can't. It's hard for me to do it, and like. And just like, what was I saying? Sorry, I got distracted. But it's harder to grow as an indie VTuber. And like one way to, it's almost like you have to build your own community. Because when you're corpo, like the corporation takes care of it for you. Like your debut, like getting you set up with a model, and like getting you set up with like all your socials and stuff like that. I mean, when you first start out, you are spending your own money on things, but it's like once they give you a platform really to like post on. Yeah. And like, to really grow as an indie, it's almost like you have to like make friends with other indie VTubers. And like that, you can't force it either. You just gotta be like chill and natural and like, you know, like join a few Discord channels and like watch other VTubers and like be genuine and say, oh, I like what you're doing with your content. Like, and just like talk to them for a bit, and like, you know, if things are vibing, then you can say, oh, I want to collab. Like, it's like you can't be too pushy because that'll like freak people out and like they'll not want to talk to you. And like, honestly, the VTubing community is so small. It's kind of like, you know, everybody. And like everybody has their own circles, and like, you know, because I see a lot of people from my chat, like in my friends' chats, and they're the ones who like join and watch my friends' streams and like watch the collabs. Yeah, you all do grow together. Like, there are a few of my VTubing friends who are doing really well, and I've seen them grow like exponentially well this like last year. And that's because they had the support of their friends, that they were able to keep going. And like, it's so easy to get discouraged when you're not growing as fast as you wish you could. And like, if you have like that group of VTubers, yeah, it's like you have that like group community to like fall back into, and to just kind of hype you up. And like, it's so nice to see them like appear in your chat and like to cheer you on. And like, if you're ever nervous before a stream, like they'll hype you up. And it's because they know what it's like. They, especially like the ones who brought me into this community, like they're always like the first to be encouraging, and I'm really grateful for them. Like, I honestly would not have, if I hadn't met them, I would have given up. I would have just started streaming because I would have just stopped. But you know, now that I have it's not big, but I do have like my regulars, and that's what inspires me to keep going. And you know, just the fact that yeah. Well, also, like, corporate VTubers, like, for example, if you were already a fan, like, of the other talent in the corporation, of course you're gonna check out, like, the talent they hype up and, like, they're helping debut. It's just like they have it. I mean, the whole thing with content creation is all the same. It's just like whether or not you have more resources available to you. And like, it's just really easy to build a platform when you have everybody doing the like marketing and the advertising for you and the promotion for you. It's just easier when you, especially with an already established name like Hololive or Niji Sanji. Oh, I'm lagging, sorry. But like I said, a lot of the talent in Hololive and Niji Sanji, like the people behind them, they were indie. A lot of them were indie before, whether it was like a facecam streamer or a VTuber. But like, I don't want to go like too and close into past lives and personal lives, but I mean, some of them are really well known, like who they are. And like, there were even some VTubers who are still active, like in the entertainment industry. Like there's some who are voice actors, like professional voice actors. They're just doing VTubing as like a hobby. But like those people, that they already had a name for themselves. But I just think at the end of the day, VTubing is a transformative art form. Kind of like, you know, like face cam streamers, like, or even like other content creators. I think we have to kind of just like do our own thing and like make interesting stuff that continues to engage people. And I think we just need to like branch out on our own, because like VTubing like really like was a Japanese thing. It is more well known and popular in that region, and like the West for the most part hasn't really caught on yet. Like, and I do think it's because of the anime debuff. It is very cozy. And we all talk to each other. We all talk to each other, and we all like are there for each other. And I see like the art they create, and like because we do have a Discord channel together, and I do see like their drawings, and like I do see like what they talk about, and we kind of like squee over our other favorite VTubers and streamers. Like, it is very nice. But it's just like, as a VTuber at the end of the day, like your most reliable source of support will be other VTubers, because they know what it's like to like grind and try to make yourself stand out in a I can compare it to a small pond with very many fish, because it is a bit oversaturated because it's gotten to the point where anybody, if they know what they're doing, can be a VTuber. Because I mean, the software you use, it's completely free. Like, it's just a matter of how far you want to go. But I do think if VTubing wants to grow as like a serious art form, it's going to need to like break out of that traditional mold, like that virtual idol mold that kind of made it become popular. And I do think like this will be a good time for indie VTubers to really show what they have and kind of step things up. That's just my thoughts, though. I'm just a cambion who streams from a spare bedroom in my own house. Like, that's and streams on a 3-year-old laptop. Like, that's literally what I do. I don't have a fancy setup. I just turn on Streamlabs and turn on my microphone, and I'm here. Like, it's not really difficult. And I do think I should play up to my talents. And I'm still trying to figure out like what I can do as a content creator. Because there's just like so much I want to show everybody. And I can kind of like give Oshi credit for this, because a lot of what he wants to do is he wants to do more like lifestyle focused streams. Because I didn't understand like how that would work, because there's only so much you can see from when I stream, and because of the movement of the model and like the technological limitations. Like, I can do hand cam streams, like that is something a lot of YouTubers do, but like if I were to do like fitness streams or workout streams, like you all can't really see what I'm doing unless I tell you what I'm doing. And I would just Oh yeah, mine does too. It's sad. But like, if I were to do a yoga stream, y'all wouldn't see me doing the poses. You would just see my model just like wiggling on the screen. You like wouldn't see anything. You will hear just like me like screaming in agony and like I just think it's really funny because it's such like a way to express yourself and like be creative, but at the same time it's just like when it comes to movement, you're so limited by what you can do, but at the same time it's just like, you know, I shouldn't like limit myself to the strict precedence of what's been done before me, you know? Like this morning I did a yoga routine and it felt great. You know, to kind of just like work my limbs out and like get things loosened up a bit. And like, yeah, it's like we don't know what we will have in a few years, like what technology we'll be able to do. I do think, and I know with 3D streams, you do get more like body movement, like especially with the VR chat enabled, but I don't have a VR headset. But I do think like maybe in a few years we will have like full body, like full motion rigging, like where I can like move my hands and like turn my body around. Like I do think we will have that at some point. And I think it's just up to the people to develop the technology. I do know that full body rigging is possible in 3D though. And in like VR chat, you like can do full body rigging. Like it just requires a different setup. And like I honestly don't really have much room to move around anyway. So that'll be something to consider further down the road. Like, I would say I myself have pretty good movement because I'm able to like wiggle back and forth, like bounce around and kind of just like move my head like that. Like that's what I can do, and it's really good. Like I do think I have good movement. Yeah. And I do think I have good movement and expressiveness. Like I do think like compared to some corpo models, like I'm very bouncy. And like my wings have rigging, and like I have that tail that can like wiggle in the back too. My hips can swing. I do have like jiggle physics, but you know, it does take a lot to get this kind of movement. It's almost like you have to find the right artist and the right rigger to get this to work. And like I have a single dad. Like Gayo's Papa is a single dad, so like he did both the rigging and the art. So it was really easy to make it cohesive, but it's almost like you have to consider, okay, you have to consider like what kind of movement you want in your model and what kind of like direction you want to go with the art. Because like I was talking about this with Vile, and he was surprised that it went in this direction when it came to how I wanted to appear. Because he thought I would have gone for the cute little bow anime girl. But, you know, that's not me. I wanted to be more true to myself, and... Oh! It took Gaius about a month to do everything, I think. But I think that's just because he's really fast at working. He's just a fast artist. Like he draws really fast. But the rigging did take a while. I remember that being a thing, and I would always be telling him, hey, you gotta remember to rest yourself. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It is hard because it's like you have to get real good at anatomy in order to draw good VTuber models. Yeah, I have pink hair, pinkish purple hair. That's because I wanted to. I wanted to have pink hair because why not? I think it looks nice. Yeah, live 2D is like really hard to like learn too. Like live 2D is its own monster because you not only have to like make the art yourself, you also have to cut it and like create the physics for the rigging. It's a process. It's a process. But I mean, if you can become a live 2D artist and rigger, like you can make a decent, like you can kind of become like a big artist and like do some really cool models. But it's just hard to like find people who are willing to buy because everybody wants a popular artist to do their art. But I wanted something that was a little different. Yep, exactly. Yeah, it's very time consuming to learn. But I feel like if you really work hard, you can make a distinctive style. It's just a matter of putting the time and effort into learning it. Yeah. Oh, but like overly expressive and exaggerated is great though. Especially if you're going for like a more cartoony and stylized style. Like not all VTuber models have to be anime-esque. Like they can literally be anything. Like I saw one that was like inspired by the 1930s cartoons and it looks great. Oh? Again, just practice. Maybe put a portfolio out there of the work you really like. Like once you start, like build a portfolio too. Because eventually you're just going to want something to like represent your work. And you also want to be able to like look back and see how you've improved. Oh yeah, VTuber assets can also get you like a decent amount of work too. Like if you can do backgrounds or like overlays. And there's just a lot you can do to like provide, like contribute to the VTuber community without being a VTuber. A boomer zoomer. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm like beyond baby boomer. Like, I'm like, I don't even know what generation I would be in. I'm so old that they don't even have a name for my generation. I'm just me. Again, not many people who were born in my time are around anymore, so. Silent Gen, yeah. No, I'm like older than the silent generation. I'm older than the Declaration of Independence. Like, I remember when that shit was written. Like, come on. But I've seen a copy of the Declaration of Independence, though. It's just a piece of paper. You can't. This like sucks. But like if you were to go to the National Archives and like look at it, you can't really read it because the ink is so faded. And they're just like, am I just like looking at a old piece of paper? Yeah, I've seen the real thing too. I've seen it. It's in there. There's a copy of it in the National Archives in DC. You can also see like the Constitution too. But like when the Declaration of Independence was written, like as long as you knew how to read, you could read it because they published it everywhere. They published it in like the papers because we had the printing press back then too. So like if you wanted to know what was happening, you would just read the papers. So like, yeah, like that was a thing. Like it wasn't like done behind closed doors. It was like a straight out call for war. Like we knew what was going on. And even though at that point I was living in the wilderness, I still knew what was happening. I still knew like about the battles. I mean, I could sometimes hear them. But I tried not to get in the way and interfere because I was a big ass like monster flying at the colonists, and like I was kind of the last thing they needed during that time. Yeah. Oh yeah, we are. I mean, the only way to prevent from repeating it is to just keep educating it. Yeah, people did talk differently back then. They even had different accents. Like, can you believe that people still talked with a British accent back then, in the colonies? Like, they kind of talked like this. Like they were all British. Like, they still talked like that. And, like, if you listen, like, to the different regional accents in the United States and, like, compare them to, like, where the first settlers came from, there's definitely, like, a similarity. But it's like the way Americans talk nowadays is, yeah, the regulars are coming because like they're all British. Like everybody was British except for all the colonists came from England. Like yelling the British are coming would have confused a lot of them, but the regulars, Mm-hmm. I have been to British. Not real. England isn't real. God. I would love to go to England one day. I've never been. Yeah. Because, like, at the time, we were still the colonies. Yeah. I do have English friends, though. That's the best thing about the internet, is you can, like, connect with anybody with a Wi-Fi connection, for the most part. So I have, like, friends from very, very far countries. Oh, man. I would love to travel overseas. Someday, someday. I've only been to the US and Canada, so I'm not... I'm fairly well traveled with the US. I've been to a lot of the big, like, cities and, like, a lot of, like, the big landmarks. But I just want to see what else is out there, like, immerse myself in a different culture, you know? I'd love to go to Japan someday. Like, that is a big goal of mine, is to eventually make it to Japan. Like, even before I started streaming, I wanted to go to Japan because it's just like, it's different, very different. And it has just such a rich, like, especially with folklore. And there's so many of their own demons and like monsters out there in Japan, like within their culture. I just want to see it myself, you know? Yeah, I've been up and down the East Coast a lot too. Like, I'm from Jersey, but I've been a lot of different places. And I've been on the West Coast too. I've been to California. And I've been all over the East Coast. I've been, like, from Massachusetts, like Maine, all of New England, really. I've been to New York City. I've been to, like, Virginia in the Carolinas, and I've been to Florida. Yeah, I call that term bed rotting, so it's not fun. So I think that's going to be it for me tonight, because I'm getting sleepy. I'm getting kind of sleepy, and yeah, I'm exactly who you're thinking of. Yes, I am. I am the Jersey Devil. Hello, Dr. Frederick. Well, yeah, like I said, I'm gonna end it there, because it's getting... Exactly, thank you. Yep, it is getting a little late, and I should go to bed for the night, because I gotta work. But, as always, thank you. Thank you for tuning in and listening to me just ramble about whatever was on my mind. And I will see you all soon. Bye-bye.